Hey, good morning everybody. This is BrandoMcWilli. I haven't talked to you guys in a long time. It seems like I've been extremely busy, and I apologize for not posting a video in about a week and a half or so. Yeah, I'm still in school and I got exams and stuff like that right now, and it's just been kind of hectic, and I'm still kind of finishing some stuff up. But I had to post a video today. I figured while I'm studying or something like that, I can at least post a video. And I can make this one fairly quick. I've been wanting to do this one for a long time. Excuse me. And I figure why not do it today, so right quick. I was going to do a video on Henry 22 Magnum, the Henry rifles, and I got rid of it. So I'm not doing that video right now. Not to say that the Henry is not great. It just didn't. The 22 Magnum just didn't fit my my arsenal all that well. This didn't have a use for the 22 Magnum. So, another couple notes of administration. Thanks just to everybody out there. I just want to say thanks. Me being a new channel, I have reached my 100th subscriber. And, you know, I was thinking about having a little contest just to thank everybody for supporting my channel. I'll probably have a giveaway, and I'll probably post that video here in the next day or two. I have to determine what I'm going to give away. It's probably going to be one of my favorite things, inexpensive favorite things, by the way. You know, 100 people. It's not like I got 100,000. But one of my an inexpensive favorite thing, which is probably some sort of everyday carry knife, or maybe a Victorinox Super Tinker, or some type of Swiss Army knife. I like those a lot, and I think those are great. Even the small ones that just have the blade. You know, if you have those little tiny micro. I think I did a review of the Wenger, I can't pronounce it correctly. It's German, I know. Those little things are actually okay, you know, for to have in your pocket or to have on your keychain or something like that. It may be something like that, or it may be something a little bit bigger, maybe mid-size. I prefer the mid-size, but it depends on what I can afford at the time. So, probably going to do that in the next couple of days. Thought about giving away some ammunition, but I don't know. That may be a bad thing. So, today I kind of want to continue. The last gun review I did was on the Beretta PX4, and I did that video, and we did a discussion basically about the benefits of having the double action, single action, along with the safety. Well, that was kind of like a double whammy, because a lot of your double action, single action guns do not have a safety. And when it comes to, let's see if I can do this right, SHTF situations, or zombie situations, you know, what kind of gun do you want? And you know, there's all these different guns with all these different types of features on them, and you have to kind of think to yourself, really, you know, what am I trying to do? What am I using this gun for? And so forth. And, you know, in the Beretta video that I did, you know, I kind of explained the difference of why I want that safety on there and why I like the double action, single action pull. In an SHTF situation, I want something that's tried and true, and I think there's going to be a lot of moving going along. There's going to be a lot of rustling and crowd situation and that sort of thing. And to me, almost all of my guns that I use for that situation are double action, single action, with the exception of one, and that's the Glock 17. And the Glock 17 pairs with my Sub 2000, so you can understand why that pairs, because the Sub 2000 takes Glock 17 mag, so they just naturally pair. But for my AR-15, my AR, I use a Beretta M9, and for my Kel-Tec, I use this gun right here. And this happens to be the Sig Sauer P226, and this comes in 9mm. I think I've actually told you guys before, for all my carry guns that I want to have with me out in the day, or not in the day, but outside, I like those to be a 9mm. For guns in my house, I typically like those to be 45s. I'm not a big 40 fan. I don't like I consider it a compromised caliber. I like either having a ton of capacity that you would find in a 9mm, okay, and in some 40s actually, or a 45, you know, it just depends. This is a 226 in a 9mm, and let's kind of go over some things that I kind of like about it. First of all, this gun is unloaded. I took the magazine out, so there's no magazine. Okay, so it's obviously empty. The cool thing about this particular one right here is that it is made, I think the manufacturing date on this one was 1989, okay? So when you find a SIG like 229 or 226 or 228, even a 220, that's made in the 80s, a lot of times you're going to have this roll mark on here that says made in West Germany. Now, to me, you're not going to be able to see it on this camera because this camera kind of sucks with the lighting that I have. And I promise I will one day get new lighting. But, you know, so this gun was made before, you know, at least the slide was made before the wall came down in that little time frame, or at least in that era. I forget exactly what date the wall came down. But this is not one of the new ones that was actually made in the United States. Little has changed between then and now, except for the amount of variations that you can get in the SIGs. The SIG 226 has been around so long that there's so many different variations. I went on SIG's website just now to see if they even make this model anymore, this type with this grip and all that kind of stuff, and they do. But it's called the, I think that, well, actually, the Navy looks like this one, but it has the rail underneath it. The new SIG 226 has that nice, almost sandpaper grip, and which is very nice, by the way. And it has a rail as well. So if you notice some differences between the newer ones versus the older ones, is that basically, you know, you don't have a rail here. It's just basically a dust cover, which is, I like that. Pretty cool. I have an affectionate for double action, single action guns. I like them a lot. I think they're pretty cool. I just like having a hammer. That's just me personally on guns. But except for the guns that I carry, you know, I think I've explained this before in other videos, if you guys have seen them, that my carry guns, I don't want anything on them. No safety, no hammer, no nothing. I just really just want to be able to pull the trigger, and that sort of thing. So this has a lot of mechanism. You can see a lot of stuff is in the way. It's not very streamlined, okay? But that's okay. The difference between the SIG versus like a Beretta is that the Beretta, you know, has a slide safety. This has no safety whatsoever as far as external safeties. It does have a decocker. So when the hammer is cocked back, okay, here is my decocker, and it seems usually decockers are over here, okay, and are integrated with a safety. With the H and Ks, they're integrated with a safety except for the P30. The P30 is back here, and you just basically pull down. Now listen to this. It's very quiet. It didn't make a lot of noise. So you can tell that it's a little bit more tactical, I guess, than some of the big clicks, I guess, that you would have. It's kind of interesting. Notice that this particular area that I was talking about seems kind of odd, but it actually fits your thumb fairly well when you want to decock it. So they did a good job as far as putting it in the correct area to make it fit your hand very well. So kind of going back to the philosophy of the SHTF guns versus guns that I carry. The SHTF guns that I have, I want tried and true guns, number one. And I want a gun that I can bang around, get dirty, and I know it's going to perform well. This particular gun has been tried and true. This is used by the U.S. military. The Navy SEALs obviously use a version of the 226. Some other agencies use the 226. I know that the ICE, or the Customs Agency, uses the 226 as one of their options. Various police officers use the 226. And when I see a gun like that used in that capacity, I think that it would be a good gun for the situation that I want to use it for. All right, so if I'm, you know, having to be in the mud, or if I'm having to, you know, move around in a lot of crowds and that sort of thing, you know, this gun can't be easily deployed because it's not. It does have some safety mechanism with a long trigger pull. It has a lot of reliability in that regard, and it has high capacity. This particular gun, I think, carries 15 plus 1, so you know, 15 rounds of 9mm is pretty good. So so that's why I choose these type of guns for that role. And my other gun that I have for this, I said, is the Beretta M9, which is the same as the Beretta 92S, right? It you know, fulfills the same role for me. It's a little bit bigger than this gun, and it's also a 9mm. And you know, like I said, I like 9mm for that anyway. Now, what I end up doing, just so guys let you know, is been loading 9mm rounds using the XTP bullets, and I have like a batch that I was working on until I got busy. Okay, so I got brass here that I've already sized, and I'm ready to put my primer in there and put my bullets in and so forth. So I basically store these up, and I use those in the SHTF situations. So anyway, I can't say anything negative about this gun. The trigger on this gun is actually pretty nice. I think that if you ever go out and get one of these, you'd be pretty impressed. It's a very accurate gun, and the trigger, to be quite honest with you, I thought the H&K triggers were better until I got this, and this is just as good or better than the H&K. It's a little bit different than the H&Ks, but it's got a long double action trigger pull. Not long, but very heavy. Okay, but it breaks very cleanly, and for the single action trigger pull, it's very light and crisp. Okay, so deploying this would be not that hard to do. It'd be very easy, and very nice weapon. It is a little bit on the heavy side. Okay, it is a metal gun. It's not a polymer gun, but for the situation or the role that I have this in, I really don't care. This actually goes in a Blackhawk holster. All of my situational holsters are Blackhawk Serpa holsters, and I keep the paddle on there because in that situation, in an active shooter situation, or a situation where I need to deploy from my home or protect my home, I could easily just throw pretty much whatever I'm wearing, a Blackhawk holster on there with the paddle. I guess a Phobos holster would probably work just as well, if you didn't want to spend the extra money on the Blackhawk. And that's the way that I run these things. So Blackhawk also has a nice system with the whole Serpa, I forget what you call that, their strike fire, or whatever you call that, system that you can interchange the back of those holsters. So that's another option to look at as well. So if you have any questions about this particular SIG, or any of the SIGs, let me know. This is a very nice firearm for this situation. A lot of people carry these. I don't really see the reason that you wouldn't want to carry something like this. It is a little bit heavy and it is a bit big, but we are getting into winter, and if you can handle the weight, then you should be able to carry this without any problem. I've never carried it on my person, as a concealed weapon, but I have carried guns that are a lot heavier. I mean, a lot of us carry 1911s. Some of us carry, I carry that big old 41 Magnum sometimes. So, it's heavy, and that's okay. And when you carry something like this for a while, and you go back to a Glock 19 or Smith & Wesson M&P Compact, or even the Kel-Tec, goodness gracious, you appreciate those polymer pistols even more, and how well they are. These are a lot more fun to shoot, though, because they're a little bit more controllable and so forth. So, anyway, if you guys have any questions about it, give me a shout, and then also keep looking out for my video for the contest. And I really appreciate everybody subscribing to my channel. It was like all of a sudden one weekend I was out hunting. This has been like a week and a half ago, or actually a week ago, because I was hunting last week, and all of a sudden I just started getting like tons and tons of emails saying that so-and-so is subscribed to YouTube. And I just want to thank everybody for subscribing. It's been a pretty neat little journey over the past, my goodness, it's been 5 months since I've really started the channel now. So, it's pretty cool. I appreciate all the support, and I appreciate the comments that some of you are leaving. And so I'll announce the contest video in the next day or so. I got to get back to my schoolwork, and I'll post this video. But keep the comments coming, keep the subscriptions coming. Tell people about me. If you go on Twitter, I haven't tweeted in a few days, and I apologize for people who were following me on Twitter. I'll tweet this video being posted. So the Twitter address is just BrandoMcWilli as well. So you can follow me on Twitter. And yeah, that's about it. I guess I can ramble on some more, but that's about it for this one. If you have any questions about the SIG, sometimes just looking at it and looking at someone else handling it and so forth, kind of makes you drool a little bit, just because it's another gun video and you like guns and yada yada yada. So take care, guys.